Welcome everyone to the podcast Legal Leaders Insights, where innovation meets experience in the world of law. I'm Giulio Coraggio, your host, the location head of the Intellectual Property and Technology Department at the law firm DLA Piper. And today we have a special guest, Benedetta Volpi. Benedetta is General Counsel at Nextalia. She's going to tell us what Nextalia is. And she's going to tell us a bit about her and her outlook on the future. Welcome, Benedetta.
Hi everyone, and thank you for having me today. As you mentioned, I'm General Counsel at Nextalia, and Nextalia is an Italian management company that has been founded in 2021 by Mr. Francesco Canzonieri, and as a partner of institutional shareholders like banks, insurance, but also shareholders from the private sector like Confindustria and Bonifiche Ferraresi.
It has a strong mission, right?
Yeah, right. We started in 2021 with the flagship fund, which is a private equity fund that raised 800 million euros in what was like 10 or maybe 12 months. And now we are about to launch the seventh fund.
Yeah, but you invest just in Italian companies or mainly?
Mainly in Italian companies. We also launched a venture capital fund in 2023, which is focused on tech and startup companies that may be located also in the UK, US, and other markets.
Yeah, and it definitely is a peculiarity of the Italian market. We had the previous discussions where you were saying that the technology sector in Italy should be growing and is still very little as part of your investments, but in general as part of the investments of the industry. But let's do a step back, Benedetta. Can you tell us a bit about your career and the key points that led you to your current leadership role?
Sure. Well, I started in private practice, so I'm pretty comfortable in this environment. Just after graduation, I graduated here in Italy, and I started as private practitioner. I did the exam, so I got the bar and all the stuff. My main experience in private practice was with Bonelli Rede, which is, as you perfectly know, the leading Italian law firm. I spent there 5 years in the regulatory department, 3 of them in the London branch. So it was a very constructive experience because I had the chance to see what's the private practice outside Italy. Then I got back and I decided mainly as a work-life balance decision to change from private practice to in-house lawyer.
Is it true that in-house you work less than in the private practice?
Well, it was when I started. My first experience as in-house was with BNP Paribas.
Yeah.
And I got some more free time and less pressure and all that stuff. When I started in Nextalia in 2021, so 2 years later, the things changed a little bit because Nextalia at the very beginning was a startup. So you have to do everything from Carly's to relationship with the Bank of Italy. So it was very challenging at the beginning, and the amount of work is still a lot because you have to build your own team to train them, and so it gets a little bit to get to a better work-life balance, but I'm happy.
And also overseeing the entities in which Nextalia invested and their operations, their results and so on. It seems to me that Nextalia has a very entrepreneurial approach. Definitely. And in general, private equity has in its DNA an entrepreneurial approach. And the technology sector is a big question mark. In Italy, but I was saying across Europe, we're still chasing the creation of a big tech giant in Europe. We still don't have it. What are the legal complexities that a private equity firm needs to face across the uncertainties in the technology sector, but in general, I would say in such a gray economy that as the one we're facing now?
Well, the thing is that when you're approaching a new target, you need to understand the sector they are working in. So, and each sector has a lot of peculiarity. Let's say we are investing in agritech, from agritech to insurance brokers. So,
Yeah.
you need to that. I think the best way to understand the landscape you are moving towards is trying to set up a good relationship, long-term relationship with the company management. So they are into the business, maybe they founded the business, so they can tell you exactly what's going on. Maybe they don't know the reason why or the legal landscape behind, but they can lead you to understand this is the problem we are facing, this is the challenge we have had, or maybe this is the rule we have to comply with. I don't know why, but we have to. And then you start from there and try to find solution, or in our case, maybe risk when you are acquiring a company. So you try to understand what's the risk for the fund and how you can manage that.
Because your goal is to create value for your investors. And when it comes to the technology sector that is fast evolving by definition, it has some gray areas. How do you find the balance between, you mentioned risk, taking risks but not taking too many risks, because then the investment might fall apart in a situation where you need to generate value probably in a let's say in a fairly short time frame, because this is what private equity funds do.
Yeah, well, it depends on the fund strategy. But for example, when I assist my venture capital team, they evaluate the idea behind the technology, but also, again, management and founders are a key part of the due diligence and the evaluation of the target company. I would say that also acting as mainly as lead investor, the relationship with other investor or existing investor is also very helpful sometimes, because you can get an insight of what where the company is going or is trying to go.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not on our list of questions, but I know that with you I can be a bit more free. What do you think that should change in Italy to attract more investments, or to generate internally more investments, like as Nextalia is doing? I mean, seems like our economy, the global economy, is facing a generational shift. So probably now it's the right time for a change.
Well, the first thing that the venture capital team said to me was, we are never going to find investment for 150 million in Italy.
Okay.
So that's a big challenge. And if you wanted to get an insight of what are the challenges here and what Italy should change, I would say that the legal framework is always very complex. Administrative burdens are sometimes crazy. So, I mean, the government should really look into it and try to understand what a foreign investor or an Italian investor going abroad is looking for. So this is the first challenge that we are facing. So, I mean, tax framework is, I mean, it's always changing. It's very difficult to understand. Yes, you have some regulation that could help from a tax perspective, but they are very, very difficult to comply with. We are talking with pension funds and other investors, and they are saying, okay, I understand that you cannot find all that money in Italy, but if you don't commit to find the money to invest in Italy, I cannot invest in your fund. So, I mean, this is something that it's going in circles, let's say.
Last question that we address to all our guests. If you were giving a piece of advice to a young professional that would like to pursue a career like yours, what are the essential skills, the most relevant skills that probably are not so intuitive to? to a young
Well, I
family?
would say don't be afraid to work hard. I mean, especially at the beginning, you have to work longer hours than the others, because you need to learn, you need to understand, and you have longer time to understand the same thing that people that are already working for 1 or 2 years can get easier. I mean, so sometimes I think that new graduates or people that are new to the job sector are really afraid to say, okay, no, I want to go to the gym at 7 p.m. And I mean, that's okay. I mean, you have your life, and you are right to seek a good work-life balance. But at the beginning, I mean, it's an investment. You are investing in your future, and this entails working hard, maybe harder than the others, but to get the right return during your career. Otherwise, I mean, nothing comes easy in life.
Absolutely. Let's not create the expectation that when you are senior you work less. Because
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
correct. Maybe some seniors, that's not me.
Absolutely. Benedetta, this was very useful. I thank you for your time. I thank our audience. This is the podcast Legal Leaders Insights. I'm Giulio Coraggio. Arrivederci.